Hey everyone, how's it going? We just talked about limits, and I thought it would be good and helpful to look at some examples. And this particular example has some fractions, and I know from hearing from some of you that fractions are scary. And I used to hate fractions when I first started math, like they were the devil, but it's actually not that bad, and they're pretty fun. So why not we do an example with some fractions involved? I mean, you can't do math and not run into a fraction at some point, so we might as well get used to dealing with them. So here I have the limit as x approaches -4 of 1/4 plus 1x all over the sum of 4 plus x. And one of the initial things we talked about, and there's a resource that I made, it's called the limit toolbox, that talks about strategies for solving limits. One of the strategies was to try to plug in that value. And we got to be careful because we have a fraction. And anytime you have fractions, you got to pay attention to what's going on in that denominator. And sure enough, if we plugged in -4 into our denominator here, we would get 4 plus -4, which is 0. And anything over 0 is undefined, and we couldn't proceed. So the second step, and especially when you're dealing with fractions and dealing with limits, is to simplify. Always, always, always try to simplify the problem before proceeding, because simplification will make your life a lot easier. So I claim that if we simplify this just a little bit, we can solve the limit. So where I'm going to simplify is I'm going to pay attention to the numerator in our fraction here, because we got two fractions being added. I'm going to combine that and try to make one fraction. So I'll have one fraction on the numerator, and then I have it all divided by 4 over x. So I'm going to make a kind of a working column over here, so I don't make the problem messy. And it's always good to kind of make a working column so you don't tie in work that doesn't need to be there on top of your limit and make you confused. I've done it. Trust me, don't do it. So let's look at this. So we got 1/4 plus 1 over x, and that's our numerator, and we want to rewrite that as one fraction. So we have to find a like denominator, and the easiest way to do it is look at the denominator of both fractions and go, what does one have that the other does, and vice versa, and then multiply by that quantity. So the 1/4 doesn't have an x, so I'm going to multiply by x over x, both top and bottom. Likewise, the other fraction doesn't have a 4 in the denominator, so I'm going to multiply by 4 over 4. Okay, so there's my multiplication. Now I'm going to carry out the multiplication. So when I multiply this out, I get x over 4, 4x. So x over 4x plus 4 over 4x. So I've successfully made the denominators the same. I found a like denominator. And now I can just add the top. So I can rewrite these two fractions as a single fraction over a common denominator. So rewriting this will give me x plus 4 over 4x. And so now I'm going to take this quantity here and rewrite the limit, replacing the addition of the two original fractions with just this once, which makes the problem a little more simpler and a little less stuff to move around. So I'm going to do the limit as x approaches -4 of x plus 4 over 4x over 4 plus x. Now, I noticed that we have a complex fraction. So we have a fraction within a fraction. So we have the fraction on the top all divided by the bottom. So when we have this type of situation, we can use what's called taking the reciprocal. So we're really dividing fractions. So in other words, we have what's going on. We have x plus 4 over 4x divided by 4 plus x, and you can think of that as over 1. What we do when we divide by fractions is we flip the second one, or take the reciprocal and turn that division into multiplication. So this will become x plus 4 over 4x times 1 over 4 plus x. And the reason that flipped is because I took the reciprocal, and that's what you do with fractions. And I claim this is the step we need, and this is going to help make life a lot easier for us in this problem, because if you notice, I have an x plus 4 and an x plus 4, and if that confuses you, you can rewrite this as x plus 4 because addition is commutative, meaning the order does not matter. So I have like factors right here. So if I simplify that, I'm left with 1 over 4x. So this, we just did the simplification over here. So let me rewrite the limit real quick. So I have the limit as x approaches -4 as 1 over 4x. And now I can evaluate the limit, because before we couldn't stick in -4 because of the denominator. But we through simplification, we got that factor that was screwing us up out through our cancellation that we did over here. And now we can pass through the limit. So all I have to do is just plug in -4. So I get 1 over 4 times -4, which is -1/16. And so the answer that we're trying to find out is that the limit as x approaches -4 of 1 over 4 plus 1 over x all over the sum of 4 plus x, or the quantity, is -1/16. So what we've learned is that we just have to massage the problem a little bit, do your simplifications, and hopefully something nice will happen. It'll cancel and you can work through the limit. We'll work through some more examples in future videos, but I hope this helped. Please leave any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.